Hi guys, hope everyone's having a really good weekend. So I just thought I would upload this video for you guys. It is a gold and red set that I did sometime before Christmas. So as you can see, I have already prepped the nails and I have applied my tips. My tips are CJP's crystal tips. These are my genuine favourite tips. I use these for almost every shape. So I've just shaped them into a nice coffin, ballerina, tibby square, whatever you call them, kind of shape. And I am now applying a gold glitter to her little finger. The glitter I'm using is Sandstone from Diamond Glitters. It's a lovely multi-cut one. So it's Sandstone Metallic Multi-Mix that you're going to be looking for. So I'm just covering the full nail. And then I'm moving on to the ring finger. Sorry, I do go a little bit out of shot on this one. I didn't realise, and I do eventually obviously pull it back in. But I am building, so it's sort of an extended nail bed. You exactly the same method and everything as you would. But I'm making it into a point instead of that nice deep smile line. It's going to come to an exact point. So I'm using CJP's Perfect Peach for that. So I'm just pulling it down with the tip of my brush and just making it nice and neat. You want a nice good wall to put your next colour up to, because it is going to be quite geometric, this nail. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just carrying on pushing it up with the side of my brush, and then you can see that I'm using the tip of my brush just to sweep it in place. As I always say, the closer obviously you get to the perfect shape with your brush, then the less filing you've got to do, so it does make it a little bit easier for everybody. So I'm just using the bead of Perfect Peach at the cuticle area, then just refining that shape once again. And it is so satisfying when you get it almost perfect with your brush. It really, really is. Just going to apply a tiny little bit just to that side, because I just felt that the wall wasn't even the whole way around. So on the middle finger, I am doing this a full colour. I'm using CJP's Vamp. So this is a strength powder. There is no need to cap. So I'm placing on a fairly big bead. I'm going to tease that into the cuticle area, making sure my side walls are nice and straight, and they're not the product's not seeping down or anything. So I'm going to use the belly of my brush to pull this product down. And then I did get to about this point and think, why have I pulled all that product down? Because I'm just going to end up sweeping it off. I really, really annoyed myself when I did this, I'm not going to lie. Look, I ended up sweeping all that off the end. I needed that to build my apex. But we all do it, I suppose. So I'm just neatening up my side walls and my free edge, making sure it is nice and flush and neat. And then I am going to apply another bead of Vamp just to the apex area, just to build it up, because as I say, I pulled most of the product off the end for some unknown reason. So I'm just going to build that apex up there. Make sure I've got my strength, because this is quite a longish set really for salon. So I want to make sure that her stress area is nice and even. So on the index finger, I'm using Sandstone again. I'm just going to sort of do a thin strip down the centre of the nail of Sandstone. So we're not building it thick, we're just using this for design, remember. So I'm just making a thin strip, what's going to come into a point, so it's sort of a long triangle. Hope that makes sense what I'm saying. So the thickest part is going to be at your cuticle area, and then the thin part is going to be at your free edge. I have got a clear layer under here, because I'm going to add clear and then file, and I don't want to file into my client's natural nail. So make sure you do have a nice thin base of clear. And then I'm going to add more clear acrylic on top of this glitter, so this is where we're going to build the nail. So you want to make sure that you have got enough product to build it as high as your nail is going to be. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. So obviously I'm building the nail, but I'm only building over the top of this glitter. So you want to make sure you've got your apex in. It's nice and even height the whole way down. I'm going to apply another bead just to make sure I've got all this covered. You want to make sure that all your glitter is matte as always, and then you know that it is all covered. So just using the belly of my brush just to push that up and build some nice high walls. So then we know we're going to get them super crisp lines. You want to be checking it from all angles as well, making sure you've got a nice even height. So it dipped just a tiny bit in the centre there. So I'm just adding a little bit more to make it nice and even. I think when doing geometric it is always best to put too much on rather than not enough. And then we're going to do a full glitter on the thumb again. So we're using the Sandstone Metallic Multi-Mix again. It's a gorgeous gold, this one, because it's not, you can get certain golds what are a little bit yellow. This one's not, it's just a really, I'd call it a rich gold. I know everyone calls golds different things, but this one's a really nice rich gold. I do like this one. So I'm just making sure that the full nail is covered. We've got no gaps in there. As you can see, I'm working nice and thin. I'm making sure my cuticle and sidewall area is nice and neat. Then I'm going to go back to the ring finger, and I'm using a fairly new 150 grit file, and I'm going to file in my sort of smile line. So I'm filing to a point. Right, so at the point of the smile line where you would normally sort of roll file and make it nice and round, this wants to be nice and angular and nice and straight. So I'm filing against my acrylic, not against, not down towards the tip. So then I'm applying a thin layer of the sandstone glitter once again. Just, you want to do a thin layer just around your smile line area. So we're going to come right down into each side, right into that wing area. Then we're going to make sure your smile line is free of any glitter. So the wall you've built, you want to give that a sweep off with your brush, make sure it's nice and clean. Then I'm going to go ahead and cap the full glitter nails. So I'm just using CJP's Crystal Glass as always. Making sure your glitter's nice and matte, making sure you've got your apex in there, your sidewalls are nice and neat, same thickness, etc. the whole way down. It's a nice feeling when you do it in one bead as well, I must admit. I have actually got a course coming up really soon, Saturday the 28th of January with myself and Kerry Anderson, where we will be teaching one bead, smile line, shaping, etc, things like that. So if anybody is interested in booking on that, please pop me or Kerry a message over on Facebook and get your deposits in ASAP, because the course is almost sold out. I think there is only, I think it's 3 spaces left maybe. So yeah, if you do want to get booked on that just to perfect your acrylic skills, then there is a few places. So just pop, like I say, pop us a message on Facebook and we will get you guys booked on. So I'm just capping my glitter now on my smile line. So I'm only capping the glitter, I'm leaving the free edge nice and blank. So as you can see, I'm popping it on, and then I am using the belly of my brush to push and build some nice high walls again, exactly the same way you would if you were building a smile line. It's just sort of an extension of a smile line. So you want to get that to a nice point again. Get rid of any excess. So you're making sure your point comes straight in line with your previous one. And then going back to the index finger, again we're going to use 150 grit file to file that nice and neat, get them lines nice and crisp. Sorry, little ones are arguing upstairs, currently playing Guess Who, so God knows what's happening. So I'm going to give that a dust off, and then I'm going to go in and use CJP's Vamp once again, coming down both sides of the nail. So we're going to build the rest of the nail using this colour. It's a strength powder again, so no worries about capping or anything like that. CJP Vamp is my go-to red. It is my favourite red. Absolutely adore this red. It's beautiful. So I'm not worrying if I've gone over onto my clear at all, because once we file, we know we've got that crisp line under there, so it's going to pop straight back out once we refine file these nails. Like I say, we always do a geometric nail a little bit chunkier than what we normally would, just so you know you've got that extra file room to get right down to them lines. So I'm just going to pop this bead on and do exactly the same on the other side, teasing it right up there, and then just walking it down to fill in the rest of that nail. Just making sure everything's as neat as I can possibly get it. Then going back to the ring finger again, as you can see I have filed again the smile line, and then I'm going in with CJP's vamp and just filling in the rest of the nail exactly the same way we did with the other nail. Making sure that I've got good thickness. Making sure I'm putting right up to that previous colour, so I know definitely that there's no dips or anything in this nail. And this one was my favourite nail out of the whole set. I absolutely adored it. Really, really did. So then we are going to refine file the full set and add top coat on this nail. Look at this nail. I forgot to record the previous nail my top coat in, so I do apologise about that. But look at this nail. Oh, it made me so happy. I know it sounds silly, but it really, really did make me happy. And this was one of them sets where I could not get a good picture no matter what I did. I must have spent about 15 minutes trying to get a picture, and could I heckers like get one. So you can see a little bit of red on her cuticles, but actually it's just the pigment out of the red from filing and stuff. The red is so pigmented, it's unreal, but obviously client went and washed her hands and it just come off straight away. And then you can see we've refined file there, and those crisp lines have come straight through. I love this set because it was quite Christmassy, as in colour wise, but it wasn't in your face Christmas, was it? I don't think. And plus it can be recreated in any colour. So then we're going to pop this into the lamp to cure for 30 seconds. And then here is a shot of the finished set. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to keep up to date with all my latest videos.